There we go. Okay, my apologies, guys. I didn't have my recorder going. The primary factor is the categories that you select. So we're going to talk about categories today. But look at this. The second most important is the keyword selection within your business title. So think about that. Whenever we talk about SEO for your website or whatnot, we always talk about keywords, keywords, keywords. So I point this out because when you select the title of your business, you want to make sure that at least one of the keywords that is mortgage related shows up right within your business title. Even if your company name does not include the word mortgage or home loan or finance or something along those lines, go ahead and add it as a suffix. In other words, add it to the ending. So let's say the name of my company, for example, was Homestead or something like that. I might put Homestead, and then after that, I might put something along the lines of mortgage loans or home loans. The bottom line is you want to try to include the keyword that you want to trigger your ranking to show up within your title. And Google has very strong latent semantic indexing, which basically, again, just means what are words that are related to the primary keyword you want to rank for. So that's why you can use either mortgage, or you could use loans, home loans, financial. All of these are related, and Google knows this. So find a way to work that into your title right out of the gate. Okay. Okay, let me just make sure everybody's muted here again. We're getting a lot of background noise. Okay. All right, I'm just going to leave that on mute all. Okay, there we go. Okay, so that should take care of that. Let me see if we got any questions on that. If I already created a name for my GMB page a few days ago, can I change the name to add mortgage or home loans to it? So that's a wonderful question, and I'm actually going to get into that as well. All right, so very, very good question. I'll definitely jump into that. Okay. All right. So as you go to add a new business, let's go ahead and click to add a single business. Let's see what happens. All right. So this is when I mentioned that Google will actually check for your business as well. This is where you can do that, folks, right in here. Okay. So go ahead and type out your business name, and Google's going to do a search for it. And if they cannot find it, try a couple different variations. If they cannot find it, then you're going to come down here to this little blue link that says add your business to Google. So let's go ahead and click there. And this is where your business name goes. Okay. So I might do, again, let's use the word homestead again. Homestead. Check it out. Now, what did you see? What did I just do right here, guys? What did I just do right here? I put not just my keyword, but my location. Because I want this is the city that I want to trigger my ranking. See if I can get it into my business name. Especially if this is the primary or even the only area that I'm going to originate. Does that make sense? So I'm telling Google very specifically, hey, this is where I want to rank. This is the keyword I want to trigger my business. So see if you can put that in there. Now, remember the number one category, though, the number one ranking that Google puts weight on is the category selection. So let's go ahead and put, I'm doing a search for mortgage. I got mortgage broker, boom. I got mortgage banker. I have I only have a handful that I can choose from. But let's not put anything in there unrelated, because I've actually seen individuals teach this technique and I've seen individuals try to use it, but they tell you to just go ahead and put other business categories in here that are not necessarily what you do. And they say because that just is like casting a broader net, but that's terrible advice, guys. Horrible advice. All that does is it waters down your ranking factors. We want to be very, very specific. We don't want to start showing up for other things. We don't want to confuse Google. We don't want to send mixed signals to Google. So if anybody ever tells you, oh, just start throwing in a bunch of other categories so that'll trigger and you'll show up and then maybe, you know, they happen to be in the market. No, that's terrible advice. Stick with just mortgage broker, mortgage lender. If you're in real estate, you know, just the real estate keyword phrases. Okay. All right. So categories. Now we're going to click next. All right. So this is the difference between if you have a physical location or not. I know some lenders, if you're kind of more in business for yourself, if you're working from home, well, that's fine. Tell Google that. And if you do not have a physical location that they can visit, then Google is just going to ask you, what is your target market? You know, what are the areas that you service? Okay, but we need to be very specific here. We don't want to pretend to have a location if we do not. So let's just give them a yes or a no. Okay. So if it's a yes, then we're just going to pop in our physical location and so forth. See how simple this is. So when I said that's really, really easy, this is what I meant. As you can see, it's just step-by-step process. You're just basically filling out a form and asking Google's questions. But the optimization process starts after you get through answering and filling out your physical address and verifying and all that fun stuff. Okay. So I'm going to just pump back here. Give me one moment, please. Just going to bump back here. I'm going to show you guys how to optimize because I think you get the point on how to fill that out. The biggest thing is when you're first filling it out, just make sure with that name selection that you get a keyword phrase into that title of your business. But let's get to the optimization process. After you've submitted, after you've answered all of Google's questions, you're going to be brought to a page that looks exactly like this. Okay, just manage my business. Over on the left-hand sidebar, you got things like reviews, links, blah, blah, blah. But just go ahead and click on your business name. And we expand to all these new features over here. And we got some really, really cool stuff here. And I'm going to show you guys how to really make a difference on your profile. Okay, watch this. The first thing that we want to do, guys, is we want to add our photos. Now, you would think that adding photos, all you do is you just click the add a photo button here. Let me just start uploading a couple pictures. Boom, move on. No, 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 no. If you want to kick your competition's butt and you want to show up in the top 3 spots, and we got to do a little extra. So I'm going to show you guys, this is a strategy here that'll give you a huge leg up. So let me go ahead and open an image first, because optimization starts before we upload to Google. So let me upload or let me open up my pictures folder on my laptop here. And let's go into this one right here. Okay, check this out. I'm opening up my folder. So you should be seeing my stock photos folder here. And I got 2 photos here that I would like to upload. Let's start off with this one here. The first thing that I'm going to do is when you're uploading photos to your Google My Business profile, you're going to see that they give you options to upload pictures that show the exterior of your business. They'll ask you, do you want to upload pictures of your interior of your business? Do you want to upload pictures of this or that? You know, they give you different categories that you can upload photos to. Well, what I want to do is I want to come to my picture before I upload it. That's saved to my computer. I'm going to right click on it. I'm going to come down to properties. Now, the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to rename the file name of my image. Now I'm going to rename that. Homestead, St. Louis home loans. Boom. So now when I resave it, I've renamed my file name. That includes my keyword phrase, right? But I'm not done yet. No, nowhere near done. I'm going to come over here to details. Check this out. Title. Did you know you can change? This is all metadata. This is all metadata that gets fed to Google. Sees all this stuff. You never see it. Google sees it. We don't. That makes it extra important because Google's going to see optimized information here, right? So I could put a keyword in here. I'm going to give myself 5-star ratings. My tags, Google sees these tags here. See, if I don't change this, Google's going to think that this has to do with the restaurant, blah, blah, because I'm using a stock photo here just for examples, right? But regardless, whatever ends up here, depending on where you got your photo from or how you saved it or whatever, who knows what Google's going to see as far as the tag. But that whatever is here in this tag space might contradict what you're telling Google you want to rank for. So for tags, I'm going to do things like mortgage, home loan, St. Louis, home loans, and so forth. See that? I just click enter after each one. Now I got my tags. See, I can change all this information in here. And Google's going to see all this. How many of your competitors do you think are going through this process? None, right? None. So when I click OK, I'm just going to save that. Boom. See how it changed my file name and everything? I got my tags in there now. I got everything changed. So once I've done that, now I'm ready to upload. And yeah, that means extra steps for each photo that you upload. Yeah, I realize that. That's extra hoops to jump through. But again, it's these little things. Nothing about what I just did there was hard. It wasn't difficult. Are there a lot of steps? Yeah, yeah. But it's those steps that put you steps above your competitors because you've gone the extra distance and Google's going to see that. So I change all of that before I come in here. And then when I start uploading my photos and everything, okay, boom, now I'm good to go. So I click to upload my photos and check it out. So here they say interior. If you don't have interior pictures of your office, maybe it's time to go take some. Exterior, same advice, go take some. At work, okay, maybe you got your processor and some assistants or just some other people in the office. Say, hey, you guys mind if I take some photos here for my Google Pay? Boom, snap some pictures. Team, check it out. Again, do you think your competitors are going in and filling this up? It seems like it's just some goofy photos, no big deal. It's a huge deal. This is a huge part of how Google decides who to rank and who not to rank. Is Google looks at effort. They look at completion of profile. So somebody who comes in and sets up a profile, let's say everything else is equal, because you're in competition with everybody else saying, hey, Google, show me. And everybody else has their hands up saying, hey, Google, show me too. They can only show 3 in that 3-pack. So one of the things that Google looks at is the percentage of completion of your profile. And that means, we gave you room to upload photos. Did you upload photos? Yes or no? Oh, you didn't? Okay. That's not a complete profile. The more incomplete your profile, the less likely you are to show. The more effort you put into your profile, the more likely you will show. So that's why I recommend you do upload pictures for each of these categories. Now, when you do upload one, here's something else, a nice little trick. You can see I've already uploaded these earlier, right? So I'm just going to come along in here. I'm going to click on one. I'm just going to click on this over here. You see how I clicked on that? Categories. Always, always, always click on a category, folks. Add a category to your image. Now, this is a category within Google My Business. To get here, all I did was I clicked on the photo and I clicked on this little information icon next to the trash can. And then let's say that this one was at work. Boom. Give you the little check mark there. And that might seem, again, like a tiny little deal, but it's just giving you that one little extra nudge in the right direction against your competitors. The less guesswork, think of it this way. Anytime you're wondering, is this going to help me or not? Think of it this way. The less guesswork that Google has to do as to what a picture is about, what a video is about, what you want to rank for, what your specialties are, the more likely you are to rank. Make it easy for them. Spell it out for them. Make your profile just a little bit more complete than the person that is competing with. Okay, let me just take a look, see if we got any questions in that. Can you delete current pictures to add the metadata? Yeah, absolutely. You absolutely can. No problem there. Okay. All right. So yeah. See the manage, Jim? Absolutely. You got it. Yeah, that should be the correct location for you. Okay. So any questions on the pictures process here before I shift gears into the next one? Just want to make
How did you add the category one more time?
So to add the category, once you've uploaded your picture, just scroll down to find your picture. So you could see here's the interior photo that I showed earlier, and here's the guy hiding behind the board. So let's go ahead and click on the interior one. And once it pops up in this full screen, just come over to the top right corner and you'll see the little icon here, the information icon, and that's where you'll see your categories. And it's just interior, exterior, team, or at work. And it seems like such a small deal, but actually it does help. It truly does help. Every little, I mean, you could just be slightly nudging out your competitor, but even slightly nudging them out means the difference between you getting shown and them not. So that's why we want to dot all the I's and cross all the T's here. Okay. If you don't have a physical location, can you still add pictures? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. They do still give you those capabilities for because there are a lot of people that have products that they sell that perhaps people can buy online or that they can have delivered. There's a lot of food, the delivery only type restaurants and whatnot. So yeah, you absolutely can still upload your pictures and videos. Let's not forget videos. All right. Okay. So give me one moment here, folks. I'm going to get back to my Google Doc here for just a second. Be right back with you. Okay. Just need to open up a couple of tabs here. Okay, so let's just make sure we are back to the main page here. Okay. So now let's go down to left-hand sidebar where it says info. We're looking for this now. So I know we've skipped posts, but we're going to talk about posts. Don't worry. Let's just make sure we got this one squared away as well. So we got photos, media. Media is very, very important. But now under information, what we want to take a look at is everything from your hours to linking for appointments being scheduled. Everything here, business description. This is what I was looking for. So we scroll towards the bottom here and we're looking for this right here. So my business description. Now, it tells you have space for 750 characters. But let me tell you guys something. Only 250 of those characters will actually display on Google. So those first 250 characters are the most critical because that's what your prospects, your potential clients, your leads are going to see. So we want to give extra special attention to your first couple of sentences and make it really powerful. Just think of it this way. These people have gone to Google looking specifically for a mortgage. What can you say that will stand out? Maybe get their attention, maybe differentiate, but at the same time, make it hyper relevant to Google. So that means we do want to try to use at least one keyword in the first 250 characters. Try to squeeze it in there. But we don't want to make it cold. We don't want to pretend like we're just writing for Google, because humans are going to be reading this too. So I know that's a tall order. We're trying to balance the efficiency of SEO, search engine optimization, giving Google what they want, with the emotional draw and decision-making process of humans, right? So it's walking a tightrope. Sorry, I can't speak here. A little bit there. All right. So an answer, or the question is, what should I put here? And the proper answer to that is, you're the best person to answer that, not me. Meaning, you know what you bring to the table. So before just randomly typing something in here, it is best to maybe go open a Google Doc or a Word doc and type out a couple of things. I like to do, my little exercise is, I pretend I'm sitting across from somebody, because that's really all this is. It's basically salesmanship online, in print, in text. If somebody were sitting there and I knew they were looking for a loan, and they're going, well, you have a competitor right next door. Let's say on either side of your office, you happen to have two more mortgage companies, and you're sandwiched in the middle. Because that's kind of the scenario you're in here. You're on Google, but they see two of your competitors right there, and they could just as easily click on them. So if somebody were sitting right there saying, okay, you got 30 seconds, or not even that, you got 15 seconds. What makes you different? Why should I do this loan with you? Why are you the right loan officer for me? What would you say? That's the little thought experiment I like to play. So if you have any specialties, this is where you don't necessarily want to be all things to all people, folks. If you have an area of specialty, that's going to make you stand out. If you say, well, I could do purchases, I could do refis, I could do debt consolidation, I could blah, blah, blah. Okay. Well, yeah, so can most of your competitors. But if you really, really are extra good at doing this or doing that, yeah, well, you know what? I've been doing VA loans for a very long time. Okay, well, that needs to be your area of focus then, because that's where the conversion happens. Okay. So I'll tell you something else, is oftentimes I like to add a little ornamentation to what I'm doing. So something that can really make your text stand out. So I might add some characters. So let's say that I typed my main text here. Let's pretend that actually says something meaningful. I might do something like this, and then put a really big point right after this. So I'm adding these little asterisks. Why? Because think back to the days where we were teaching Craigslist advertising. Now we're going back to 2006, 2007. I don't know if some of you guys on my list go all that far back, but remember the techniques I used to teach on Craigslist. How do you get leads on Craigslist? Well, we added everything from ornamentation like asterisks to plus signs to arrows. Then we started inserting, emoticons and things. It was little things that attract the eyeballs that make you stand out. Now, once everybody on the planet was doing that, okay, it's not as effective. But as of right now, within Google My Business, you're not seeing a lot of that. So even something that just attracts the eyeball because it's different, we want to include it in here. Does that make sense? So we want to use as much of the 750 characters as possible. That's another very important factor. We don't have to use exactly 750, obviously, but use most of this, okay? Use at bare minimum 75% of this, because again, versus when compared to somebody who only maybe uses 25% of it, only uses 200 characters or 300 characters versus the person that used 650 or 700. The person who gave 650 or 700 is going to be much more comprehensive. And Google's going to look at that and they're going, and that's a more complete profile. You gave them more information. Were much more specific. All right. Does that make sense? Okay, so your description, make sure that you go down the line here and you complete each of these. Services is also important, guys. So come in here. Let's click on services. Now I'm going to throw something out here. This might seem a little strange. Check out what's above services on the left-hand sidebar. This is a secret weapon. So I'm going to say something a little controversial here, but I would ignore in services versus products if you get products. And the reason I say if is because not every business is given the option to add products. Some of you guys are going to go, oh, holy crap, where's my products tab? And if it's not there, it's just not there. There's nothing you can do about it. Google decides who gets products and who doesn't. It should be one consistent criteria across the board, but that's not how it works. Sometimes you have slight variations of algorithms and different versions rolled out in different cities. So that's why I'm just letting you guys know not everybody's going to get products, but the intention for products was originally for physical products. But I'm going to tell you right now, I found products to be much more powerful from an SEO standpoint. So I would actually come in here and I would add each loan type as a quote unquote product. So if I do FHA loans, I'm going to add FHA. In fact, here's an even better way to do it. Mirror your primary website. Go to your website and look at how your services and how your loans are listed and mirror it exactly the same on your Google My Business. So if I have at the top, if I have conventional loans, then I'm going to come in here. I'm going to say, okay, let's get a product. Let's get a photo in here. Something. It could be a 1003 doc or something. You know, I don't care. Put something in there, but it's literally going to be. It's going to say whatever it says on my website. I want to mirror it. Okay. And we just go down and fill this out exactly as now. Obviously, you know, this is optional. We're not going to put a price in there, right? But use your keywords right here in your products or right here in your product description. And the reason why products is such a big deal from an SEO standpoint is because typically Google will take the pictures and the product description to each one of yours, and it will tack it onto the top of your Google My Business listing within Maps. And that's a big deal because your competitors don't have that. So your profile will stand out versus the guys you're competing against because boom, you're going to have product photos on there saying conventional loan, FHA loan, VA loan, refinance, you know, whatever it is that you offer, you now have product photos and descriptions, which also means that your keywords that you inserted into your description are also showing up on your profile within the map section. How cool is that? That's why I laughed and said, well, I'm kind of skipping services here and going straight to products because if you get products, definitely do products over the services. Much more powerful. And my hope is that all of you find this. Now, you might not see products right away. It might wait until you're completely verified. So if you don't see it when you first log in, don't freak out and think, oh crap, I didn't get products. No, go through the verification process after you're firmly completely verified, then come back and check. And I would say the overwhelming majority of you will find the products added. Okay. But see, now we get more categories again. How powerful is that? The power of specificity. The power of getting more keywords, the power of getting extra product descriptions listed at various intervals, and now having this showing on my profile when it's not showing for my competitors, because all your competitors are just going to services, which doesn't give them these features and functions, right? And I like this too, add a button. How cool is that? Now we can go to learn more And now you get a learn more button, and it's going to lead them right to your website. So now if I'm doing a conventional loans product on here, when they click that learn more button, it links them directly to the conventional loans page or a fast app page or a lead capture form on my website. Boom, direct link to a lead. Power. Absolutely. So for those, yeah, for meta tags and keywords, yeah, as long as you don't overdo it, guys. As long as we don't overdo it. What I mean by that is don't use the same meta tag keywords over and over and over and over again on your pictures. Use slight variations. Remember when I use that phrase, latent semantic indexing, okay? Use different variations because Google does. Google understands, they're not confused. When I throw the word home loan in there, they don't, I thought you wanted to rank for mortgages. No, they know the two are related. So if I use home loans on a couple of my pictures that I upload, on the next couple, I'm going to use mortgages. And then on next, I might use, financing or, just loans or just whatever variation you can. Just take a look at some of the other keywords that you can find on Google. Take a look at what Google associates with the words home loans. And that'll give you a pretty good idea of cool things that you can use because we don't want to overdo it either. There is such a thing as overdoing it. And when you overdo it, that comes across as spammy to Google, and that could do more harm than good. So just always keep the word balanced in the back of your mind, okay? Maybe not the back of your mind, maybe the forefront, balanced. Mix things up a little bit. Let's not overdo it. Okay. But you see the power of products? So let's go back to your website again. So let's say on your dropdown, you got conventional loans, and underneath that, you might have refinance. Then you might have some govy loans like FHA and VA. Maybe you do reverse mortgages. Who knows? Whatever it is you have on your website, make sure that you have a matching product on your GMB page if you indeed have the products feature. Okay. Awesome. Now, all is not lost if you don't have products. Okay, let me show you guys a nice sub for products. Now, all of you will have this option. All of you, everybody has the option to do posts. Why is this popping? Hold on one second. I'm sorry, I can't minimize this because it's blocked by my Zoom. There we go. Okay, now check this out. Nobody uses this. Nobody uses this, and it drives me nuts because this is so freaking powerful from an SEO standpoint. But every time I talk to loan officers, like, what's that? What's a post? Yeah, I don't have time for that. You don't have time. No. You don't have the option or the luxury not to do posts if you actually want to rank quickly. Now, if you don't mind sitting there for 6 to 9 months, and then maybe little by little over time, you start to beat your competitors. Yeah, okay. I'm not going to be mad at you. But if you want to rank quickly and start getting a bunch of leads organically, then you need to be in here every single week. Don't let a week go by where you're not doing at least one post. So what is a post? Well, for one, we can add an offer. We can add an update. We can add an event. If you don't have products and you can't add a product, it's almost like blog posts. But let's think about things laterally here. Let's get creative, folks. In fact, I'm not going to give it to you just yet. I'm asking you guys. Let me know in the chat box. Think of something. Tell me something you could do with these posts. Looking at add an offer, add an update, or add an event. Give me some good ideas on what you might put in there that would help you out SEO. Let's get the thinking caps going here. Some creative juices. Okay. Cash out, refinance. Okay. All right. What else? What can I put in here? First time home buyer assistance. So yeah, that might even be an event, right? I've done ribbon cutting pictures. I like that, Julie. That's creative. That's good. I like it. Change in rates. There's one that I was looking for. So Laura nailed one right there. So if you don't have ideas for update, okay, let's find a good excuse to do an update. Oh, hey, we just, rates just did this today. Okay, that's a legitimate reason for an update. And again, look, it allows you to do buttons again. I like this. Oh, you need immediate help on that? Call now. When they click it, boom, your phone rings. Do you like live transfer inbound leads? I sure as heck do. I don't know any loan officers who hate them. So you got updates. I saw something in there about MLS and realtors, and that was another one I was looking for. Abso-freaking-lutely. So let's say one of your realtor partners that you're trying to help generate some more leads for them, you know, so because they're actually being a good referral source. Well, then you might go, oh, hey, for those of you who are still in the market for a home, this new beautiful home just hit the market or is about to do an open house this weekend for those of you looking for a home, or maybe just had a $20,000 price reduction, you know, whatever. But we all know that individuals love looking at pictures of homes, especially if they haven't found the perfect home yet. They're probably going to click on it. So if you can lure some extra clicks by featuring some properties, why not? You know, as long as we're giving credit to the realtor and putting the realtor's appropriate, you know, information in there as well. You know, we can't just go and commandeer their listings. You know, we got to do this with their permission and give them the appropriate information on there as well, disclosures. But again, talk about a wonderful update. Okay, so let me see, what else do we got here? Change in purchase price, assistance program. Absolutely. Assistance programs. That's another really good one. Prime change in prime lending rate. So you guys got, it looks like you guys got the right idea here. Okay. So I see some of you guys asking where this is at. So this is just right with, when you go into manage and you actually click on your maps listing, you'll have this left-hand sidebar, and it's all just found under posts. It's right here on the left hand, directly underneath home. You'll see the post tab, and you'll have either 4 or 5 options. If you have products, then you'll have it on here. If it's not offered to you, then you'll just see these 4. Okay. All right. So we've talked about posts. We've talked about info. Insights. Now this is something that comes in handy after the fact. So insights is just Google doing a breakdown and showing you, okay, you got this many views, you got this many clicks, blah, blah, blah. They came from this. They'll even show you a map and show you where your information and clicks are coming from, which is really nice. This is a really nice feature, but it doesn't really come into play until after you start, you know, getting things rolling. So that's why I'm not covering it here today. So let's talk about, you know, reviews are kind of an obvious one. We're going to talk about that as well. But now I want to tell you guys about yet another one that nobody freaking uses, and it drives me nuts. Messages. Let's go to messages. Okay, when you go to messages for the first time, now mine looks a little bit different because I've already claimed mine. Okay, so yeah, this is from Google My Business. When you set it up, there's just going to be a button here saying to activate messages. What this does is it allows you to put buttons on your page where people can click and instantly send a message to you. And those messages will be held right here. Now, when you do that, and I strongly urge you to do it, make sure that you check and respond to messages quickly. Like even right here. Look right here. This is what Google is looking at right here. Businesses that fail to respond to customers within 24 hours may have messaging turned off and will no longer receive messages or quote requests, because Google cares about the quality. Remember, it's relevancy and quality within Google Maps. If you activate your messages button and you're just constantly letting more than a day go by without responding, you know, they're not going to turn it off the first time that happens, but if you make a habit of it, yeah, Google's going to turn you off. And that's a red strike against your business. Because, oh, well, you're not really that engaged, are you? Oh, well, maybe you're, you know, just not that committed to customers. Or okay, boom, you're probably going to fall down on the listings. So when you turn this on, guys, make sure you're on top of it. When you get that notification, and you will, Google notifies you, you're going to get that within your Gmail and everything saying, oh, hey, you got a new message. But I've seen people so many times. I've seen people wait 4 or 5 days to get back with these leads coming in here. And to me, it's just, why would you do that? I understand people get busy, but you know, this is a huge source of business for you. So we got to give it the level of attention that it deserves, right? So again, that's found in your left-hand sidebar. You got to turn it on first. You got to activate it. Okay. Okay. All right. So I still see plenty of excellent ideas coming over about what to put into the post section. So yeah, keep them going, guys. Those are all great ideas, and it helps everybody else in the chat box come up with ideas too. Okay. So we also have your website. If you have a website, which I we definitely don't want to not have a website in 2021. If you don't have one, make sure you get one set up, and you want to link directly to that site, of course. And there was one other area. Let me see. Let me go back to my homes area here, because I'm looking for something in particular that looks like it has moved. So give me just one moment here. Now, I'm really torn about talking about, I'm going to reserve this one for another time. This is another secret weapon for SEO, but it kind of deserves a separate session, because it does cover a bit more to really go through that. So yeah, that one deserves its own separate session. So website. Let's go to website. Now, when you go to your website here, guess what we're talking about? We're talking about your Google site. Google gives you your own free mini website. So again, this is something that needs to be discussed maybe on its own separate session, because we don't want to get overwhelmed. But I'm just telling you guys, absolutely activate this. Absolutely activate this. It's just yet another Google asset that you can take advantage of. Now, as you can see here, Google's kind of given a little mini page here, but the whole thing is editable. I could change every bit from the theme to the text, background, structure. All of this is editable. And again, we would be crazy to not actually put this to use. But you see the running theme here through everything that I've said to you today is that the more complete, the stronger your ranking. 95 to 98% of your competitors, they look at this and go, that looks like a lot of work, and they skip it. It's like, I already have a website. What do I need this for? Well, you need it because it's a Google-owned asset that Google is giving you. And when we don't put it to use, it's viewed as a slightly incomplete profile, number one. And number two, we're missing out on all the extra impact and opportunities to utilize keywords and other variations of our keywords right here within my site, right? So being that you got a lot of work to do, because we covered quite a bit of content here, this isn't something that you need to deploy immediately. So don't, feel that tension and stress. Oh, I got to get this done right away. No. It's better to do it well than to just rush it out there. As long as you're taking care of the core, the basics, and that is get your description right, get your keywords, get your photos right, do the tagging, do the keywords. Make sure you're getting reviews too, folks, because I saw several individuals commenting early on, and they're definitely spot on. Is reviews is a huge part of the ranking. And one of the things that I like to do is when it comes to reviews, because a lot of folks say, well, it's kind of hard to get reviews. Yeah, it is if we're, going and asking for them after the fact. But think about every time you have a closing, especially when you've done well for your client. Why wouldn't we ask for a review right there on the spot? Like for me, I would have my tablet or my laptop out, and I would pull it, and I would already have my Google pulled up. And I'd just slide it over and say, hey guys, the overwhelming majority of my business comes from people finding me on Google and seeing the good feedback I get, would you mind leaving some accurate feedback as to what your experience was like? Ask for it right there on the spot. Okay. Now there's something else that takes place completely off of GMB that can play a really big role. Let me show this to you guys here. I'm going to open up a fresh tab. Let me make sure you guys can see this. I just don't trust Zoom today to be showing you what I'm actually trying to show you. So you should be seeing white spark. Okay. So citations. Citations. It is important that you have complete coherency and consistency in the way that you cite your business. That means the name of your company, the address of your company, the phone number of your company needs to be spelled and filled out identical. And yeah, a lot of people go, oh, well, of course it's got to be spelled, blah, blah, blah. Well, no, it's that sometimes, let's say that you have the word street or the word place. Sometimes you spell it out. Sometimes, you shorten it. Sometimes you put a period after the shortened version. Sometimes you don't. All of those inconsistencies can have a negative impact. There has to be 100% consistency across the board, because that's how Google finds and confirms and makes sure that it's actually your business. And they find those sources, or what we call citations, all over the web. So this website right here, White Spark, they have this nice little list showing you what are the citation sources on the internet that have the biggest impact with Google. So what I like about this is when I go to this page, first of all, we can break it down by country. So I could scroll down here, and these are the countries where I can find it, right? But let's just go ahead with the US. But if you're in Canada, UK, Australia, or any of the other countries listed on here, you'll have a similar list available to you. And then I want to scroll down here to where it says top 50 citation sources in the United States. Okay, now of course, Google My Business is on the top. But as we go down here, we see Apple Maps, we see Facebook. Why? Because Facebook has business pages, right? So we can have our citation there. And again, a citation is just, your name, address, phone number, and some sort of verification that belongs to you, that you're a legit business. Sometimes those citations have reviews connected to them on your Facebook business page. Can people leave reviews for you? Yes, they can. So Google finds all of these things, and they read the reviews, or the algorithm does, and sucks them in, and views them as either positives or negatives for your business. So we just go down the list here: Foursquare, Bing Places, Yelp, TomTom, Yellow Pages, Info Group, Local Eats, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So again, if you want a big leg up on your competition, get some extra citations. Go and submit your business to these places. The more the citations you have, the more assured Google is that you're a real business, because spammy businesses, fake businesses, and believe me, there's a lot of them out there, which is what Google's trying to fight against. They don't take the time to get listed in all of these directories. That's really all these are just a bunch of business directories, really. So you don't have to go and do all of these at the same time. Just go and take care of a handful of them this week, take care of a handful of them next week, and so forth. Just start popping them out there. And as Google finds them, boom, boom, boom. Each one of those is, again, a big check mark in your favor. Make sense? Is this a paid service? Well, they do offer paid services, but all we're doing is we're just going down here and using their list. We're just using their list because they track, which business directories are given the biggest weight by Google. So that's really all we're doing, is we're just coming on here and finding these, and then, oh, okay, I'm going to go and get my listing on Facebook. I'm going to go get my Foursquare listing, my Bing Places listing, my Yelp listing, boom, boom, boom. 98% of the directories on here are free. once in a while you run across some that do charge money. Oh, did we have a question there?
Yeah, I was gonna say, could you show how to get there again, please? I guess I didn't see. I'm looking at it online.
Here,
And I don't,
I'm gonna post the link in the chat box for everyone, so that way you can click on it instead of having to type out a really long link here. So give me just 1 second. I'll pop it in the chat box right now, and boom, there you go. So if you look down in the chat box, everybody should see a direct link to the exact page that I'm on. Now, when you get to the page, you'll be at the top and you'll see this. Just make sure you just scroll down until you see the top 50 citation sources in the United States. Okay. Okay, so I'm seeing some people saying they don't see the screen. I will refresh again. I know it's obnoxious that Zoom, I don't understand what's going on with them. I hope they respond to my support request soon. Okay, so everybody should have the citations link that I'm on now in your chat. So you can just click on it and boom, go straight away. Okay, so let's talk about citations, reviews, completion of profile, and keywords. And part of keywords is also selecting the appropriate categories. And you can get a heck of a lot more mileage out of categories by using products. So if you have the products option within your Google My Business, make sure you use it. I'm a big fan. So when you really look at all of that, it's not complicated. It's a lot of steps, yes, but there's nothing in there that is inherently difficult. It's all point and click, type this, type that, but there's nothing in there that's inherently difficult. It's just a lot of steps, right? So it's work. But be happy that it's a lot of work, because that means if it were easy, then everybody would be doing it. When something's a lot of work, I smile and I go, there's my competitive advantage. There's my leg up, because I know so many individuals that are just too lazy to go and do this. Their laziness is your competitive advantage, because you're not lazy. You're the one going and getting the stuff done. Because you're getting it done, you're going to get in the 3-pack, and they're most likely not. All right. And don't underestimate the volume of business that is possible from getting in that 3-pack. You can get yourself a lot of business, and the quality, because they're coming to you. They went hunting for a loan officer. These are some of the best leads that you're going to run across, because these are folks that are actually in the market shopping right now. Doesn't get much better than that, folks. And that's why I wanted to show you this today. Okay. Now, for those of you, I'm going to go ahead and also put, because inherently I always get a bunch of messages and emails afterwards. For those of you that want to, because there's a lot more for those that need a very quick ranking, or they want this done for them. Yes, this is something that my team can do. And yes, there are some other strategies, especially for those of you that that are licensed in multiple states or across the US, and you're going, okay, I want to dominate and I want to show up in all these cities and whatnot. There are some very advanced strategies that go way beyond what I showed you here. And for those types of things, I do recommend professional help, as opposed to trying to do those types of things for yourself, because those get very, very involved and meticulous. And if that's something that you want to take advantage of, then I'm going to recommend that you go here. Now I'm going to put this link in the chat box as well, for those of you that just want something like done for you. And I recommend that you chat with us, myself and Allison. You can request a 15 to 20 minute strategy session with myself and Allison, and we could talk to you about getting these things done for you. Okay. So whether it's website related or Google Maps related or ranking related, these are the things that we do all day, every day, since the early 2000s. So, you know, we're not the here today, gone tomorrow people. Optimized literally thousands of websites, thousands of front page rankings, #1 spot. And we can do that for those of you that don't have the time to do it. The URL, I put it in the chat box, Jim. I put the link in there so you can click directly on the link. Yeah, it's not showing on the screen anymore because I cut it, but let me pop it back on there so you should see it again if you just want to type it. Okay, perfect. All right. So yeah, more than happy to chat with you about that. For those of you that want to go solo, what I showed you today will give you an enormous leg up on your competition. Okay. Keep in mind, it does take time. So if for whatever reason, if you don't see an immediate increase in your ranking, don't freak out. Don't think, oh, this doesn't work. Believe me, it works. It works. But it also takes a little bit of time. And if you're not ranking, seeing those improvements within a couple of weeks, keep those citations going. You don't want to just go and boom, throw 50 citations, all 50 on that list, all at the same time. No, 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 no. No, you will get much better results by sprinkling them out there. And that might sound counterintuitive, but keep in mind what Google is looking for is natural. It's very unnatural to all of a sudden go from nothing to having 50 citations overnight. That's not a natural progression. So Google doesn't necessarily respond to that. That looks almost like manipulation or automation or whatever. Google's looking for natural ranking factors. So sprinkle them out there. That's much more normal. You're not going to raise any red flags that way. And do a little more next week and a little more the week after that. Not only is that good for your SEO rankings, but that's good for your schedule because I know you guys are busy being loan officers, right? I just gave you a bunch of work to do. So you have permission to be a little more relaxed in your pace with your citations. But I would jump on getting reviews. If you don't have any, jump on chatting with some people. Chat with past clients, current clients, people in process, people at the closing table. Get reviews from your realtors too. If you haven't closed anything in a little while, or if you're brand new and I haven't closed anything yet, or only a handful and none of them decided to leave me a review, okay, well, have you interacted with any realtors? How about a title company? Do you have a good relationship with people at a title company? Those are still professional reviews. That the review doesn't necessarily have to come from a buyer client, a borrower client. It could also come from professionals that have worked with you, because an agent, a title company, an appraisal company, those are all individuals who have worked with you on a professional level and can leave a review about what it was like to work with you, right? So get a little more creative in how you ask for your reviews, because those are a huge, huge factor. Make sense? All right. Joanne, how expensive is it to hire you and your team? That's always the #1 question. Well, for that, we have to kind of find out a little bit more. And I understand the importance of that question, but what we have to look at is first, we analyze your market, analyze the number of locations and the amount of work that has to go into it. And then we produce an estimate from there. So, and that's not meant to be a cop-out type answer, but that is as honest as it gets, that it can vary wildly depending on marketplace competitiveness, because all of that impacts how much work, my team will have to do. Okay. But when I give you an estimate, I stick with that estimate. So yeah, more than happy to chat with you and just kind of go over your market and see what needs to be done, and we'll generate something from there. But I'll tell you this much, is it's a lot more reasonable than people expect. And the value of a front page ranking, especially in multiple cities. And there's not a whole lot of people that know how to get you in multiple cities, even amongst SEO guys. I would say a very, it's very much anecdotal, but in my opinion, I would say less than 2% of even the guys in the SEO fields know how to do it properly. because it really is something that Google tries hard to not let happen. But if you know how to do it, your competitive advantage being able to show up on the front page and say 10 different cities and states versus just one, well, that's 10 times the volume of traffic. And it's pretty fantastic. And you don't have to pay for that traffic, right? So those clicks that you're getting are worth about 40, 50 bucks a click if you had to buy them through Google AdWords, because that's in-market data. Those are in-market shoppers, people that are actively seeking your services. So your close rate from those are through the roof. And that's why it's so valuable. So that's why we recommend it. Okay. So it doesn't get better than that for traffic, right? The other side benefit to this, guys, is like when you use those citations and you list yourself on the Yahoo directory, the Bing directory, if you saw some of those other items that were on the White Spark list that I showed you, well, those are search engines too. So you're never going to get the same volume of traffic on Bing and Yahoo as you do on Google. But that's still, you know, even if it's just a couple extra people a month, I mean, heck, I'll take it, right? So if I were to prioritize, if it were me, I wouldn't necessarily come in here. Let me scroll down. I know, and I'm not going to be mad at anybody that comes in here and just wants to kind of go down the list, you know, the ranking of 1 through 10. But honestly, if it were me, I would prioritize the Bing places, the Yelp, of course, and the Yahoo if I only had limited time to get something started, just because I know these are search engines. I know that there's still a lot of people that use Yahoo and Bing, nowhere near as many people as Google. You know, we know that, but still, there's still a good, healthy chunk of people using these. And these behave just like Google Maps, don't they? Bing places and Yahoo places, or Yahoo local. So I would prioritize those because I'm doing this for leads. So let's go where the people are going. Yeah, you know, these others might, you know, have a bigger impact from an SEO standpoint on that. But at the same time, again, I'm after leads. So let's also get to the top of these simultaneously. And Yahoo and Bing both take their cues. They kind of play follow the leader with Google, because Google's the big elephant on the block, right? They get the lion's share of the traffic. So Bing and Yahoo tend to mirror what Google does. So when your rankings improve on Google, yeah, pretty certain they've improved on Bing and Yahoo local as well. Okay. All right. Okay, perfect. All right, John, absolutely. Look forward to chatting with you. So any final questions before we wrap up? And yes, I did record. My apologies, I did miss the first couple of minutes, but you know, I did get all the meat and potatoes of today's session for you. And I will put that in the group. That's our Facebook loan officer website group. I will do my best to get that in there today. But first it has to process through Zoom. And then from there, I will download and then upload it to the group as it becomes available to me. All right. So you guys can go back and just make sure you got everything covered. Okay, fantastic. So the group on Facebook. Yes, absolutely, Jim. Yeah, that was the, let me see if I can pull that up again. Let's go to the top. That's this one right here. It's the LO website group. It's a brand new group, so it's small, which is kind of nice right now, because that means that we can get to questions much quicker. All right, so now's the time if you want to go in there and get some activity going, as far as questions and even chatting with other loan officers. Now's the time to do it for sure. Okay. Okay, guys, fantastic. Thank you for joining us today, and I absolutely look forward to chatting with you again. Next week, we should have another session. I don't have the topic picked out just yet, but I will, and I'll pop it in the group, okay? So just keep an eye on your email, keep an eye on the group. I will send that out as soon as we have the topic picked out. And in the meantime, I'll see you all on Facebook, all right? Make it a great day. Happy Friday to you.
Thank you.
Bye now.